Am I audible?
Yes, 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 yes.
Hello, Matthew. I've shared your introduction already, so I think we
Yeah,
can just get started with the session.
yeah, sure, sure, sure. Just a minute. Okay, so I think I'm clear in voice and in video. So can someone confirm that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much for joining all the aspiring fellows and associate fellows with the Delhi government. So I will start with a small intro. Probably I think we will be having session for maximum 1 hour. We will wind up with that. So I will be having around 10-20 minutes of introduction. How was my journey with Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. So about my introduction, then what was the application process, what was the selection process, and how was my experience with the Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. Then I will give you some tips about the process of application as well as how to approach this Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. So I think I will take 10-20 minutes for discussion or my experience sharing. Then you can put your questions as in chat box, or you can switch on your video and audio, and you can start asking questions after that. So with that, let me give me a brief introduction about myself. My name is Paul B. Matthew. I am from Kerala. I have completed PhD in Sustainable Development and Social and Management. After that, I had around more than 10 years of experience in sector of government, project management, and policy development. I was working with government of Kerala for last 10 years. Means when I was applying for this Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. I was working under various bureaucrats, and I was leading many projects in different governments like skill development, tourism development, community development, and skill development projects, employability projects. And I was also working with various consultancies like ADB, UN, and different agencies. So that was my background while I was applying to the Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. So I think last 2 years back, around August or I think between August September that times notification came up. So I applied. I think almost the procedures were almost same. There was no big change in the application process. There was an application form, SOP, then our intention. Then we had to upload all our documents plus biodata or resume or CV, whatever it can be called as. So my biodata or resume was a simple one page. I managed to brief all my important stuffs in one page. So that was the process. I felt that I was eligible because I had all the qualifications what was mentioned in the notification. So I applied, but I was not that much confident to get a call because they were expecting people from very well-reputed universities. I think because I was reading the newspaper at that time, thousands of people are applying from different universities like Oxford, Harvard, and such universities. So I was slightly concerned, and that was my first attempt to apply to such a kind of Nobel Fellowship, because I think Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program is one of the highest paying and highest ranked fellowship, because we were supposed to work with the bureaucrats, ministers, and such kind of top brass in the government sector. And also exposure level was also highly expected. I think there are some other few organizations that are offering such a kind of professional as well as monetary terms. I think this is one of the promising fellowships I have seen in my career. So I applied and I got shortlisted for the interview. At that time, interview was handled by Delhi Technical University. I don't know how many of you know about the past stories of Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. Initially, government has announced this Chief Minister's Fellowship Program, I think 3 or 4 years back. They have conducted all the procedures like interview, test, selection, and announcement of results. But after some weeks or some months, they couldn't progress with that because LG couldn't approve that. They had to cancel all the procedures and proceedings of the Chief Minister's Urban Leadership Fellowship Program. So later they asked Delhi government to come up with a very fair policy, and they asked Delhi Technical University as the nodal agency. So nodal agency was Delhi Technical University, so that my interview process was at Delhi Technical University. I think there was a separate team for the selection of Chief Minister's Leadership Fellowship Program, where they were screening the SOP, our resume, our application, and they were shortlisting, and they were taking interview, and they were also finalizing the results or such kind of all the procedures. After completing the final full list, they are away from the selection procedure, then that is going to DDC or Delhi government. So that was a process. So I reached Delhi Technical University at the prescribed time. So there were three panels, and my panel was consist of around 5 to 6 members. I still remember Delhi Dialogue and Development Commission Vice Chairman was in the interview board. Then one of the senior members like Vice Chancellor or Pro Vice Chancellor or Registrar from the Delhi Technical University was there. Then some senior officers, like maximum 5 to 6 people were there in the board. Or that was same in the other boards, like some board members or some higher officials or retired chief secretaries like that, they were in the board. So that was a very interesting panel, and they were very cordial, they were very kind to us. So they asked like very common questions. I think that questions were common to all the people. So started asking about introducing myself, or they started to ask about myself. What was the means? So I given a kind of very brief idea about how I am, why I am, what I am, and everything. So then next question was very crucial. They were asking about what was the motivation behind applying for this fellowship. So I had a very concrete answer. So I am also confident with that answer even now, because that was very genuine as well. Because at that time, this Aam Aadmi Party as well as Delhi government was coming up with a lot of novel ideas, and that was marked as non-corruption movement or a smart government styles. So I was so much impressed with that, because I have been working with government sector and with government projects for a lot of years. So I really want to become an efficient and expert in governance and want to be a prominent consultant in governance areas. So that was a very convincing point, I should say. But beyond that, I really want to try my hand in the politics, because many people are saying that corruption, governing or running a government without corruption is impossible, because corruption is a part and parcel of our system. Wherever we go, because I was in Kerala, even we are talking about development and everything, but I cannot say that Kerala government is not corrupted, because there are corruption everywhere. At the same time, Delhi government is claiming that we are running a government which is corruption free, and we are saving a lot of money, and we are pro-poor, we are providing a lot of facilities to government. So I really want to try and really want to practice this system, and I want to be a politician in my future career. So that was a very core concept, and I was clearly articulated that these are the two things I am trying to achieve through this fellowship. And I have rich experience in government sector working with various agencies, so I am fully confident. So next they asked about how was your experience with government, how you had an experience with working with bureaucrats and ministers. So yes, I had that experience. I was closely working with very senior bureaucrats. I was giving submission to the ministers for the questions and answers in the legislative assembly and legislative matters. So I had very close contact. So they were I was one of the persons they were looking for exactly. Though I had not that much credible ranking institutions, or like for example, some institutions of eminence, I was from a very normal education institutions like universities in Kerala only. So that was the another question. Then another question, I was from Kerala, so they asked, how you feel like, are you comfortable to handle tasks in Delhi? Because you are not being to Delhi, you are not familiar with the culture of Delhi people and system. So I said that because I had a lot of experience working with different people across the country, because I was a part of different fellowships, different immersion programs and campaigns. So I said that was not a problem, cultural issue is not a constraint for me. But another question was very crucial. They asked me, how is your Hindi? So I was literally zero in Hindi. So I thought that was the end of the fellowship program. I have to stop my aspiration. So I said, no, I have not that much experience in Hindi. I am a very beginner. So they asked, but that response was very positive. I said, I know that, but Hindi is also a parent language which is in the same family of Kerala, Malayalam. So I can easily catch that language is also very easy, like that I answered. Then they said, okay, that's not a problem because Delhi is a place where people from different parts of the country are coming. People are using different languages, so that would not be a constraint. Okay, so that was the major questions they asked. And after that, they said, okay, we will let you know. They haven't asked any. Then they asked about my publications. What were my publications? In which journal? In which publications? So they asked about the title of my books, title of my research, title of my PhD and everything. They also asked about my research experience. So that was the interview, and after completing the interview, I was very confident because I felt that I am one of the a very suitable person for this fellowship. I had experience in government, I had experience in research, and only one limitation was my language. I was slightly reserved with that, but else that was fantastic. I think almost all the interview panels were asking similar questions, but they asked a very common question to all the candidates except me. Because if you look at the application process, they ask about what will be your contribution towards Delhi government, or what are the problems you are anticipating in Delhi and how you are going to address. That was a key question. The same question asked to almost all the interview members, it means all the interview panels asked those questions. Like what are your specific projects, how you are going to contribute, what are the imminent challenges or pressing challenges you are seeing in Delhi, how you are going to address, what are your ideas. Such questions are also there in the interview. So that was my experience, and the announced result, I was not that much confident, but fortunately I got second rank and I selected to the Chief Minister's Fellowship Program. So that was my experience in the interview process. Then after the interview, they announced results. Then they asked us to come to Delhi for the fellowship program, induction program. So there was a lot of trouble with my language, but I am not explaining those stuff because I think many of you are very familiar and conversant in Hindi. So I had a lot of problems in the initial days. So anyhow, I completed my induction. That was 1 week full induction, training on government policies, personal development, professional growth, and communications in government, like how to put files, how to give marks on files, like that. All the academic research, even basic Excel sessions were there in the first 1 week. Second 2 weeks, we had an immersion program where we are assigning with some kind of task. Then we had to complete the task. We had to interact with people at government levels, like policy levels. So I was aligned with Administrative Reforms Department. There was one project called Delhi Doorstep Delivery of Public Services. We had around 15 to 30 services like ration card, driving license, learners, then widow pension, such like that. Around 13 services were in the initial days. We were supposed to deliver 100 services within 1 year. That was the challenge I had to take over. I had one more person, associate fellow. She was also working with us. We both were handling this doorstep delivery of public services. So we started with 15 projects. At the end of the 1 year, we managed to deliver 100 services fully at the doorsteps of citizen. So that service was like that. We had citizen can call at the call center. They can give all the details. Then one person will reach out the doorstep, like for example shop or their homes. They will reach there and they will provide all the facilities. Once the process completed, they will be giving their documents like certificates or their whatever they are eligible at their doorstep within 15 days. That was the project. And that project was also shortlisted by the central government. I was one among the persons who was shortlisted as the shortlisted for the best citizen-centric project by the central government in the project. So that was also a nice experience. And meanwhile, I had to transfer to other departments as well. I worked with transport department in route rationalization and claiming some policies. And we had to provide policy guidelines and policy review in every 3 months, because we'll be having, they will allocate us some projects like a doorstep or public grievance system or mohalla or some IT systems. So they will ask us to study some kind of projects or portfolios, and they will we had to submit a policy review document and policy suggestions to the minister. So I had two kind of reporting managers. One, I was working with Chief Minister's office, I was directly reporting to the advisor of Chief Minister. Then in the bureaucratic level, I was reporting to Secretary Director at the Revenue Department and Administrative Reforms Department. So it was a kind of dual reporting structure. And politically, we have to report to Minister or to the advisor to the CM, because I was allotted to the CM office as well. Then at the same time, we have to work closely with the director as well as secretary or the principal secretary of the respective department. So the alignment or the motive is that a lot of projects government is launching, for example, doorstep or EV policy or street vendors program or pollution control mechanism. So there are a lot of vendors. There will be one private partner, then there will be bureaucrat, there will be political, and there are citizens. So we are supposed to navigate the whole process. There will be a lot of struggles and obstacles. We have to identify the problem, provide a solution and intervene, and if some support or some kind of guidance required from the minister or from the director or secretary, we have to give sufficient reports and sufficient policy advices or suggestions to the team. So the main objective of the fellowship, fundamentally one thing is to make sure that whatever planned by the government or private projects are happening in the field at the pace and scale what was expected by the ministry or the political level. Second one is obviously because we are also saying that efficiency at the governance level is very low. A lot of other issues like policy paralysis, red tapeism or such kind of issues are still there, but there are it's a fact their managerial efficiency and such kind of effectiveness are still lacking in government. So this Delhi government come up with an idea to create a lot of people who can actually contribute to the governance, and they really want to create some experts or governance consultants in the field to make sure that they are going to different parts of the country and they are assisting different governments and making the system very robust. So that was my learning. First, we have to provide support to the government. At the same time, we should come up with a lot of new ideas and providing support to the different governments wherever you are, governments or consultants like that. So in our group, we started with 30 people, 30 fellows and associate fellows. I think 18 or 20 fellows and remaining people were associate fellows. Very first day, 2 people left. One person he or she didn't join. Another person in the very first day he discontinued. Then at the end of the fellowship, I think 10 to 12 people left because they have got some PhDs or they had some kind of operational issues at the fellowship. So they left the fellowship. So initially, those started with 28 people. Initially, only less than 20 people were there in the fellowship. So that was my experience in nutshell. Okay, I think that is sufficient. I think you got an idea about what I was trying to convey. I think I'm a little fast because I want to complete and rush to another meeting by 12 o'clock. So I'm taking some questions. If someone can help me in asking those questions, it would be very easy for me. Either you can unmute and ask that question. I will try to answer at my level. Or someone from the Public Policy India, please help me and asking those questions. I will respond. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Arati, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you what are the things that you have to keep in mind while writing the SOP?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I think there are two parts where we have to write. One is writing an SOP means what are your motives. Second is they are asking us to write about some challenging issues in the Delhi government or Delhi capital territory and provide suggestions. So SOP is should be very authentic because normally in all the big organizations or big selection procedures, they are following some kind of IT tools because they will have some tools to identify some action verbs or some technical keywords. They are searching those keywords and selecting people. Because, for example, I was applied to Jagriti Yatra and various other fellowship. I think not less than 100 fellowship I have applied so far. And Chief Minister's Urban Fellowship program was one of the program I got selected. So normally, I also had experience in selection procedures. They have a technical tool because we cannot read all the SOPs. So they are using some technical tools. But in Delhi government, I think all the SOPs are reading manually. So I have noted some points. One is definitely we have to convey our motivation, why we are trying for this fellowship. because my interview answer and this SOP was almost same, because whatever I conveyed in the SOP, I conveyed in the interview as well. So one is your motivation, why you are applying for this fellowship. Yeah. Second, you have to show that you have great passion and enthusiasm to get this fellowship. Third thing is, you must say that you are the right person to get this fellowship. Then you can use something like some keywords, action verb, rhetoric devices, and if you can quantify some achievements in that. For example, you can simply say that I am a change maker, but you can definitely say that I made, I was in the forefront, or I was the force behind giving job to 120 people or 200 people. Like, or I have made a turnover in some kind of government projects like that. So these are the things. One is try to convey your motivation, then show your passion, then make sure that you are the right person, then quantify your achievements, showcase your passion, then use some rhetoric devices and action verbs. That was I was trying, because I frankly believe I was applying, and I am right now applying to many fellowships. I tried this method in different fellowships. Even I got selected to the initial round in many fellowships, so that was my experience. I feel like this will be the same thing in the SOP as well. Yeah, I think it is clear to Arathi, right?
So, sir, am I audible?
Yeah. Pranav, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I don't have any prior experience, as I am a fresher, and recently I have graduated with an outstanding grade in administration and public policy. So, do you think that I can apply in this fellowship?
Yeah, I think some people are also asked those questions. First, my suggestion is first you go to the notification, read everything, then check the website of Delhi Dialogue and Development Commission, then check the CMUL fellowship website. Then third thing is, all the participants or all the aspirants read all the websites of Delhi government. Then only you will get an understanding about what are the priority projects, what are the priority of government. If you want, you can read the app website as well. Then you will get an understanding about what is going on in Delhi and in different departments. So you asked about the eligibility. So eligibility was very clear, like degree plus, I think degree plus 5 years, then PG plus 3 years, then PhD plus first year. I think that was the minimum eligibility. So if you have minimum eligibility, I think you can apply. That is my first answer. And there are a lot of other things matters, because if you are looking at the notification, one is your motivation. That is the first criteria. Second, your experience. How many years of experience and in what field? Because I was working in government sector, and I was a consultant and providing support to government at various levels. I worked with government, and I was an outsider as well, providing consultants. So my experience was very crucial. And third thing is your qualification. For example, if you have only 1 year experience, but you are coming from some kind of premier institutes like IIMs or IITs or from world ranked universities, yeah, your experience may not be a kind of additional advantage. But I was not from a very premier university, but my experience was very credible and in the relevant sector. So even though I was not from a big university, but I got selected. Then last one is suitability. For example, check about some priority projects of Delhi government. For example, EV policy, electric vehicle policy. So if you have rich experience in those areas and your experience and qualifications suit to the government priority, then definitely you will be in. So those are the things: motivation, experience, then your qualification, suitability, and check that you have minimum experience. Then if you have remaining other this kind of 5 criteria you are able to meet, then yeah, you apply for the highest position. If you are eligible for fellow, then you try to apply for that, and if you are eligible for associate fellow, apply for that. Yeah, so please read the notification, then you will get a clear idea about the eligibility. So my say is check the minimum eligibility and then apply for that. Remaining thing matters on this 5 parameters. So all these are my personal observations. I am not an official person from Delhi government because I work closely with Administrative Reforms Department. Administrative Reforms Department was the agency, nodal agency for CMUL of inside the government. So I had some idea about what was happening. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Charan, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the session today, sir. So my question is, I have a 5 years experience in real estate in private sector. And after that, I concluded my master's in public policy recently, like last week. So should I apply for the fellow or the associate fellow position, which
Yeah.
will help me, get through better. And I also graduated from Delhi Technological University. So would that have any impact? Yeah, thank you.
I have no direct answer to this question because many people have asked the same question. Should I apply for fellow or associate fellow? That purely depends upon your competence and your qualification. So if you have minimum eligibility, then I should say you apply for the highest possible option. Like if you're eligible for fellowship, then apply for fellowship. But definitely, if you have less years of experience, then your education, your publications, then your institute of studying and everything will be matter. So think about that, and you can also check the profile of all the fellows as well as associate fellows in the DDC website, where you will get an idea about the experience, then institute they studied. So that is very important anyhow. Where you study is very important because we had received around 1,000 or something. Well, I think we have received a lot of applications, and around 30% of the applicants from were very premier institutes. And in our fellow members also, some people are from Oxford, then Harvard, then Cambridge, like that. And some fellows were from Teach for India Fellowship, like that. So I have no direct answer, very sorry, but check the DDC profile, then that is purely dependent upon your experience, competence, motivation, qualification, institution you study, then the suitability of the project. So my say is, if you are eligible, then apply for fellow. Then if you are feeling comfortable with associate fellow, you apply for associate fellow. I feel like fellows are having high slot. I think maximum number is for fellows. So if you're looking at the opportunity, then definitely that is good. But selection is dependent upon all the parameters I mentioned, like 5 or 6 criteria. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, sir. This is Shruti here.
Yeah,
So, sir, I'm starting out right now. I'm a fresher. I graduated last year, and I now have 10 months of experience in Deloitte Consulting, and I'll probably be eligible for this fellowship next year. So, because they require minimum 1 year of experience.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make sure that how do you think should I build my profile in the coming 1 year so that I can be more cognizant with the requirements of the fellowship right now. I come from an engineering background, so that is a little bit, I think, disadvantage because they're looking for some specialization, I think, there. But that's why I'm looking for any things to build my profile so that I can be in line with their requirements.
Yeah. Shruti, what is your experience or which trade you have completed your BTech, right?
Yeah. I'm a BTech in mechanical engineering, and now I'm working in Deloitte Consulting in the finance and enterprise performance division.
Okay. So because everything depends upon the priority of government. If government has some kind of projects which is related to your area, then you have chance. So in manufacturing,
Okay.
I think I am not very clear about, because for example in renewable energy like solar, then electric vehicle, there are a lot of challenges like waste management, or there are a lot of urban challenges
Okay.
which are prevailing in the Delhi government. So my suggestion is to read about the AAP government priorities and what are the updates happening in the different departments like sanitation, water, or EV policy, or transportation department. I think that is more related to your area. Then think about what are the policy suggestions you can make, or what kind of impact you can make on all those projects, and based on that you can decide. Because I cannot say that government's priority of today will be the same in the next year. That can be changed. So if you are preparing for something like this year, I am not sure you will be eligible in the next year, and I am not sure whether they will ask for, they will call for fellowship in the coming year as well. There are a lot of similar fellowships available. You can make it as a try, but I don't think, I am not confident to say that you have to go in this direction. But make sure that you have the passion to change the system. You have the motivation and expertise in project management, because whatever happens, our skills in project management or completing a task or navigating in the times of troubles, those challenges are very important, and some kind of specific technical skills are also relevant. So that depends upon the departments and the priorities of the government. Please do check the website and try to be aware about the progress in the Delhi government and Aam Aadmi Party.
Right. And so you also mentioned some 100 fellowships that you applied to. So, sir, do you have a consolidated document that it would be beneficial for everyone if you can share?
Yeah, I can share. I have a consolidated, not I have, someone else have shared with me like around 200 fellowships which are available in the social sector. I think it is in my drive.
Okay.
Please do send me an email or send me a message in the LinkedIn profile. So if it is easily can be get, I will share it right now. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah. Kavita, please carry on.
Yes. Hi, I had 3 quick questions. I'm just going to quickly summarize them. Thank you, Dr. Matthew, for the informational session. One is that I am planning to apply for a PhD in economics or public policy in maybe like 3 years or so, like in the next few years. I was wondering if you could share your opinion on whether the nature of work in this fellowship would be good as a pre-PhD experience. That is one question.
Yeah.
The second is how much is your area of specialization and prior experience, specialization in environmental economics, and I have a lot of experience working in that area. So I'm wondering how much that is taken into account in terms of the work that is allotted. And the third question that I have is a very, I guess, day-to-day question, which is that I'm wondering how many days the fellows are expected to work and what kind of, what does a typical day look like? Is it, is it a certain fixed period or, is it a little flexible?
I got the point.
Thank you so
the first
much.
question was you are planning to do your PhD and whether this experience will be helping you to improve or perform better in your PhD. That was the first question. So that depends because if you are selected to the Delhi Dialogue and Development Commission, that is purely research most probably because we have to research on various policies, we have to frame policies in economics or in transport because all the policy decisions or not decisions, policy think tank, such kind of brainstorming or research is happening with the Delhi Dialogue and Development Commission. So we had 2-3 people they assigned to this Delhi Dialogue and Development Commission. Remaining projects were mix of activities like we have to be in the field, we have to write, we have to manage, we have to communicate like that. So if you are, but definitely during the time of interview, you can say some like, for example, anyhow they will select some people to the research team or because I had an opportunity to work with the Chief Secretary's Policy Analysis and Data Analytic Division. They have decided a separate division, but eventually that became a separate department for the Planning Division of Delhi government. So they require people with research thinking, research attitude. But there was one change happened, I think 1 or 2 years back. Delhi government started a fellowship called DARC, Delhi Assembly and Research Council Such Fellowship. So they are purely focusing on research aspect, but still they need research-oriented people in Delhi Secretariat as well. They need to give a lot of policy advices, policy analysis, data analytics and research orientation. So anyhow, this project or this program has high priority for research scholars. And we can consider, because for me it was a postdoc fellowship. So I did a lot of research, I did a lot of analysis with the Delhi government by analyzing different services, different programs. So that was what enriching experience and everything depends upon your attitude because I did a lot of things voluntarily. Even though they didn't ask me about to do some kind of research, I researched a lot of things and I suggested a lot of policy measures. So how you are considering that opportunity, that itself is a that actually matters. Second thing is your specialization is in environment, whether it will be ideal for the fellowship, right? Am I clear? Is it right or wrong?
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely because Delhi is an area where pollution and waste management, all the issues are prevailing. So waste management is actually coming under this municipal council and corporations like that. But environmental aspect, lot of things like for example Yamuna River project and sanitation project, water and EV policies, then pollution control, lot of environmental aspects like even renewable energy. So government is giving high emphasis on environment. I think if you are able to perform better in the interview, I think you have very high chance for the fellowship. So that is the answer to the second question. The third question, I think it is about work-life balance. How was your work-life, how was my experience in the work-life balance. So I had a happy environment with the Delhi Secretariat. Lot of time I had the flexibility, because whenever I want to go outside, we will be getting all the travel facilities from the government, but not sure, but we will get that. And we have all the infrastructure facilities, and we have time-bound tasks, but that depends. For example, I had to work with the Delhi relief work, because after the riot, we had to work round the clock to fulfill various tasks. And during the COVID times, we had to work die hard. And that was that depends upon some persons. Some people were to work tirelessly. Some people were not that much working better. But I think work-life balance was very perfect to me. I didn't work any holidays. I didn't work any night hours. But I had the passion to work. So some days I worked on Saturdays. Some days I worked till 8. But normally, because I work with various organizations, so I was most happy with the work environment. I was perfectly happy with the work-life balance and almost all the things. But make sure that because it is a government system. When you come to the government and bureaucracy, everything will be same, because there are slowness, there are lethargy, and things will not be moving as what we are expecting. So make sure that we have that patience, then endurance, then perseverance, everything, and etc. So all the mental challenges and mental things are there that we have to accept and move ahead. But amidst all the troubles and all the dissatisfactions and disappointments, we have to work. So that perseverance, then passion, everything we have to keep up. Not only give you the motivation. That should be intrinsic. Because I had people like, I had a coach, he was from IIM and IIT. I had a continuous 6 months coaching session. That was arranged by the DDC. We can discuss with such kind of eminent people. They will support us in all the aspects, personal matter, professional matter, personal growth and everything. So my work-life experience, I think really, I was so happy. And I had an opportunity to network with a lot of people, like that was in Delhi. So I had a lot of connection with central government officials, state government officials, and all the fellows were from different parts of the country, different parts of the different universities. So our network strengthened in such a massive way. Another thing, I got excellent opportunities after the fellowship, because I didn't continue the fellowship. I stopped in between at the end of the fellowship because I had to move on to other areas, because I don't want to take a break in my career. So before completing the fellowship, I joined some other program. So that in professional level, in monetary terms, in career level, that was a great decision for me. That really made me big in all aspects. But that depends upon your current position, where you are. If you are getting rich experience, the rich salary, rich exposure, then you can take a call on that. So I think I am clear about all these answers. Work-life balance was very perfect to me, but there are some times we have to work hard. I think there will not be any COVID, there will not be any riot happening in Delhi. If it is not happening, then your work will be easy. Otherwise, we have to be in a kind of 360 flexible and commitment. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Very helpful answers. Could I just ask you what the other fellowship that you mentioned was? The DAC or the research one? The Delhi Assembly and...
Yeah, Delhi Assembly Research Fellowship. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Matthew, Kavita, what we will do is, after this call, we also have put together a list of entire, all the fellowships available in the social sector. Yeah. So we'll send that across. No worries at all.
So anyhow, I will be quick in answering, because I am trying to give answers as much as possible within 15 minutes. So I'll be going fast, but if you're not able to follow, please let me know. I will answer. And you can also send me some LinkedIn questions. I will find some time to answer. And if you want, I can also give my contact number. You can reach out to Yash, or I can directly give my number. No issues in that.
Okay. Do we have any specific questions here? I'll just take 5 minutes. Before that, hi, my name is Yash. I'm the co-founder of PPI. I've worked in the Parliament as a lab fellow earlier, then worked as a consultant. Today, I work at Twitter India as a policy associate. Just summing up what Dr. Matthew shared with us already. And I was, in fact, talking yesterday with Mr. Jasmine Shah, someone Dr. Matthew mentioned. He's the chairperson of the DDA, right? The DDC, the Delhi Dialogue Commission, which does this fellowship. Just 2 or 3 points which I've made a note of from that conversation and from this one as well, for you to just quickly make a note of. Dr. Matthew has already highlighted that, if you meet the minimum eligibility criteria, then please feel free to go ahead and apply. But a few focus areas, just building on what Dr. Matthew said, please have the knowledge of the kind of policies that the Delhi government is running. Because this is one government which is trying innovative ideas across spheres, across sectors. And it's actually very easy for you to, just search for it, just Google it and make a list of 2-3 policies in different areas, right? Health, education, mobility, you name it and it's there, right? So at least you should know. I'm sure that nobody can know everything about every policy, but at least have an idea that, okay, this is something new that you're trying there, right? It'll be very helpful. Secondly, and there's something that I've heard from other past fellows as well, have some knowledge of a government structure. So again, how Dr. Matthew mentioned, that a secretary is at the top of a ministry in that sense, right? In terms of an administrative role, right? Similarly, then there are undersecretaries, joint secretaries, and so on and so forth. How does it work? What the interactions are like? Just have a basic idea, right? For example, there's some ministries which are merged together, right? It can be, say, something like an environment and climate change. It's one ministry together, right? Just have a basic idea of the government, how it works, like what the setup is. Speaking of fellows and associate fellows, this is actually a very common question I get on my DMs as well, like other fellows as well, like who have done it in the past. And I asked them specifically because I knew this will come up. And again, building on what Dr. Matthew said, the idea is that, for example, you have 3 years of work ex, and I think it was Shruti who said this, right? That she has an engineering background, and right now she's working at Deloitte, but doesn't really have a policy background, so to speak. So if you have 3 years of work ex, and out of that, if just say 1 year is of a policy experience, right? And since the government is planning on hiring a lot more associate fellows, right? A fellow is the most senior role for someone like Dr. Matthew who had such experience, then you can just apply for associate fellow. Just play it safe in that sense, right? Ultimately, the idea is to get to work on this thing. So nothing to lose in that sense. And yes, very important. Whenever you're writing the SOP, again, this is something that Dr. Matthew touched upon. Please make sure that you tell your story in the sense that how does your existing experience tie in with the requirements of this program, right? So even if I were to take someone from an engineering background, you can say that, hey, I have some technical knowledge of how some of these things work. And sorry, I don't have that engineering background, so I can't put this into words. But the point being, how does the existing experience tie in with the requirements of this program going ahead, right? So that whoever is making the call and judging can put 2 or 2 plus 2 together. That, okay, this person might be a good fit, right? Make it easy for them because they have hundreds and thousands of applications to go through. The easier you make it for them, the easier it will be for them to say yes to your application, right? And finally, yes. Sorry, Dr. Matthew, just one final point. I'll just share my contact details here. I'm happy to put in touch with, other fellows who have done this in the past, and of course with Dr. Matthew himself. And as for, other fellowships which exist in this space, and in fact, any other help you may require regarding public policy in India, please feel free to reach out, and always happy to help. Back to you, Dr. Matthew. If there's anything else you would like to conclude, any closing remarks, please take it ahead.
Yeah, if you have any questions, then I will answer in 10 minutes because I have 10 more minutes. Otherwise, let us wind up.
Okay, I don't think we have any questions. I'll quickly paste the link here. Feel free to reach out. And
sir, excuse me. Hello.
Anirudh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had posted a question in the chat box.
Please go ahead, Anirudh.
Yeah, Anirudh, please ask those questions so we can easily answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So basically, I'm currently a master's student in public policy from TIS. And I've been working on urban policy for quite some time in my master's program. So I just wanted to ask, what do the career opportunities for an associate fellow look like post the fellowship? Are there any
I think
good
I also
opportunities in
mentioned
Delhi government?
a lot of opportunities will be coming up after the fellowship because we cannot predict, but I had a lot of opportunities coming up because wherever I applied, I had a lot of good feedback. Because I think, as Yash mentioned, we have a lot of opportunities in social sector and policy making, then think tanks, then change agent. For example, NUTS Fellowship is offering a good opportunity. There are a lot of consultancies in government, governance. So I think opportunities are immense. There is no question in that fact. Everything depends upon your qualification, your motive, your experience and everything. So n number of opportunities are available. There is no question in that fact. I think Yash can probably help us. And I will also share some documents. Yash will also share those opportunities.
Oh, thank you, sir. That works.
I think we still have some time. Anything else? Are there any questions in the chat that we may have missed? We can take maybe say one more question. And please, nothing on eligibility or age limits. It's all there on the website. If there's anything else, like...
Hello, sir.
Yeah, it's Raktim.
Hello, sir. Thank you for giving us your time and enlightening us with your wonderful experience. Sir, I have a question. Currently, actually, I am a undergraduate student and I am pursuing my bachelor's degree in political science. I will be graduating next year, and currently I am in fourth semester. Sir, I have plans to do masters in public policy or any other associated field. And so, sir, can you suggest me some good courses or internship opportunities, fellowships, or any other thing related to the career for the same?
Yeah, I think I have already answered a similar question, but I am not a person who is confident to give any career suggestions. That everything depends upon our interest, then our resources and everything. So if I cannot suggest a course, but generally you will be getting some repository of all these options from the Policy Institute. You can refer all those documents and take a decision, because I am saying something that will not make any sense in long run. So you consult, and everything depends upon your experience, interest. So I cannot say such outright answers to this question. Sorry, Raktim.
In fact, I see a lot of questions on this in the chat as well, and in general, if people here are genuinely interested in knowing, career options post the fellowship, in fact, post different fellowship, like I can take it up for LAMP, and be it any fellowship, we can organize it for that. Feel free to drop me a message or write us an email, and we'll be happy to put it together. Be it any career,
that sounds interesting. I think I think this organization can organize some webinars like LAMP fellowship, TFI fellowship, or even a lot of CM fellowships are coming up, governance fellowships are coming up, consultancy opportunities, government opportunities, then civil service opportunities, thousands and thousands of opportunities are available. So I think Yash can help us.
Hi, Dr. Paul. Thanks a lot for your elaborate answers. So I have just two quick questions. So first, are they looking for specialist or generalist, like an overview of policies experience, or like something specific like environmental policy or like public policy in general?
Yeah, I got the question. You were asking about the priorities of government. I'm not clear, but generally they are looking for a specialist. Because I was a specialist in government matters, so they allocated me administrative reforms department projects and public service delivery projects. So government has some priorities like education, health, state bandage policy, mobility, electric vehicle, pollution control, then Yamuna River, doorstep delivery, then media, then public grievance management, solar, policy analyst, then slum development, Mahalla clinics, so on and so forth. So they are looking for specialists, but along with core competency, we should have a kind of multidisciplinary approach like that. But from my experience, they have some sort of priority projects, and they have listed that these are the fellowships or these are the qualification or priority we are looking at. And if you are fortunate and you are suiting with the job description or the profile they are looking for, then you will be. So I feel like specialists are more preferred, but that specialization or experience at years or something like that may vary. But normally they are looking for specialists. But we will require a generalist approach as well.
Right. And the second question is just related to publications. You said that they also ask for publications. So is it like a minimum eligibility criteria, or is it something which is preferable by the selection committee?
No, that was not a mandatory stuff, but since I had a good number of publications, they asked about the details. But if you have some publication like ABDC category or A-star A, or you have published some books in reputed publications, yeah, definitely you can come up, because interview is an opportunity to showcase. But anyhow, I haven't showcased anything, but they asked me because I have written it in that my resume. So that was the reason they asked me. Anyhow, if you are a good writer and if you have the good index and H-index or such kind of scores, then yeah, definitely that will be an advantage. But that is not a mandatory stuff if you have different experience in different areas.
Hello, sir. Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, Charan, please go ahead.
Sir, what is the level of exposure that one can get in a fellowship towards academia and other think tanks?
Yeah, That purely depends upon our personal capacity. If you are a person who is having the drive to reach out to any person in aggressive manner, that is unlimited. All the fellows who are coming, they are very rich in experience. They are from very reputed organizations or reputed experience. And we have dark fellows. Dark fellows are having around 120 to, I think now around 200 dark fellows are available. And that is in Delhi Secretariat. And Delhi is also a place where we can network like anything. So that depends upon your capability, your effort. If you are capable to build networks, that's an ideal place. But exposure wise, I am not guaranteeing because I don't know how much of experience you are gaining. Exposure level was not that much, very excellent to me, but networking was really nice. That depends upon where you are working, where you work, where you studied. That depends. But networking and making your professional development is at your personal responsibility. If you are ready to expand your network, professional development, you have a lot of opportunities. That is my take from the fellowship.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
So one last question I can answer, then we can wind up. Or Yash, you can take over and continue the remaining.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, especially in the morning hours. I know all of us have work. We have offices. I have myself kept aside work for now. Thank you so much, especially Dr. Matthew, for taking out the time. I know you have been doing this, sir, here on and off, here and there. So it really means a lot. And again, if you have any queries, any support you need, please feel free to drop me a DM. You can reach out to us, email to us, always here to help. And have a good day and wish you all the best for your applications. Take care. Bye-bye.